So you've tuned your Supra and now you're making a lot more power. Well, there's one thing you may have forgot about that could be holding you back, and that's gapping your spark plugs. Now, part one I've already shared here on how to take your spark plugs out. We're gonna jump into it right here, so let's go. All right, so now to gap the plug, I have one of these from Torque Solutions. Basically, you put your spark plug in there and you can tighten this down and it'll help you gap the spark plug easily. All right, so basically you're gonna take the spark plug, you're gonna screw it into this gadget here. And then when you screw down on the top portion, you can see it's going to push the top part of the spark plug in and it'll tighten it up. Now, when you're doing that, you're going to want to put a feeler gauge in there. This right here is a set of feeler gauges. You can pretty much buy them at any automotive parts store, but basically these all have different thicknesses. Now, there's also a second kind of gapping tool that you can get really cheap at like AutoZone, and it looks like this. Basically what you do is you slide the plug onto the gap tool, and then basically where you slide this up to is where it's gapped at right now. So what you'd have to do is close this gap here between the electrode and the top here in order to make the distance for the spark to have to travel smaller. There's no real good way besides that tool I showed you, in my opinion, to do this. Some people just bang it against something, like you can bang it like that. Some people, what they'll do is they'll just take it, bang it against a concrete floor or something to get that gap smaller. Now you might say, if you do over gap it, what do? You have to be very careful. You can take a knife or something very small flat blade, and you can get in there and you can bend it back out just very carefully. You don't want to damage that electrode. Now for me, I'm going to gap them to about 20 thousandths, so 0.021. Spin this down and slowly tighten that gap in as you go. All right, so now there's barely any space between there, barely wants to go in. So that should be 21 thousandths. If I get a 20, it should slide in there nice and smooth.